Whew, okay. Had a bit of a late start, and the recording software was giving me some trouble, so starting later than usual, so let's just get right into it. Starting with the last of the 90s, Super Sentai, GoGoFive, and episode 34, Death Else Destruction. Or at least, that's what the English translation of the episode is. Hopefully this new mic settings might help. Gets really high though, but I'll stick with it. Episode 34. Saving one life means saving the future. Basically called their monsters dumbasses. I forgot to have like a mascot-ish character. Oh, I can recognize that cliff. Again, not because I've been there, but because I've seen it multiple times used in set. Oh no. In a few hours, those roses will release a large volume of pollen. There are poisonous pollens which will rot everything on the earth. There is no way to stop them. The earth will become a dead planet. So I think I gotta fill you in, so yeah, it's easier to explain later. It won't come off until they release all the pollen. You can't even harm them. But there is one way to prevent all this. You must burn them with your own bodies. An ultimatum. It's either you let the pollen destroy the earth, or you take your own lives to save the earth. Damn, that's heavy. It's one or the other. Either way, you are finished. Damn. The moral implications are hard to think about, but damn, it's impossible to surgically remove them. They've only got 2.5 hours. Shit. Yeah, they tried cutting through a knife, that didn't work. I think looks like they're gonna try to shock it. That didn't work. Oh no, wait, they burned it, but it just regenerated, so that didn't work. 2 hours remaining. Oh, citizen. If the GoGoFive kill themselves, the earth will be untouched. Even if it's to save the world, they will never end their own lives. Says the villain. Protective gear wouldn't help. Yeah, they considered containment, but it's not going to work because pollen's just going to rot through that and their own gear. Just the fact that they put an option that, you know, end your lives and save the world, that is dark. Especially for Kicho. What if we had to choose one or the other? It's obvious. We're GoGoFive. Right, we're GoGoFive. Oh, someone came up with the herbicide sample. It's their last chance. Eye catch. Oh no! Intercepted. The monster destroyed the herbicide. I told you, you have only 2 choices. Death, else destruction. Just like the title. 30 minutes left. And the music really makes it dire. And the flowers haven't pollinated, but they are starting to bloom, showing like they're running out of time. Any other way. So they regrouped, 15 minutes left, and they found an open spot next to a lake. And now he pulls out a thermite bomb. Even if you can't measure a life's worth, it's the 5 of us or the entire earth. I don't want to die. Says the sister. Can't the GoGoFive feel that way? And everyone else is starting to admit it too, that they feel that same way. I don't want to say goodbye to this blue sky and this green land. We still have time. 13 minutes left. And he puts the bomb away. This isn't like us, huh? QQ Sentai, after all. It's okay to save our own lives, right? We are the ones in need of help, right? We'll never give up until the last moment. That's right. Space is the answer. Less than 9 minutes left. So now they're going to use their space mech to go up to space. They've chosen space as their grave. Now that they're in space, they're going to open the airlock and try to let the pollen escape in outer space where there's no oxygen, so you can't do anything. Because time's up. And the pollen is releasing. Air is almost gone. We're all gonna die. Oh, Matsuri! Her belt came loose, and now Batoi is holding her arm. Actually, everyone's like trying to grab on, and suspensefully, we don't really know what happens. And there they are. We don't give up so easily. We'll get rid of all of your pollen and roses in space. Thwarted. Our turn to give you a choice. Fight or run. I don't remember this music being so rhythmic. The music is different in this one too. I don't remember that. uh, it's the same instance with the Mega Ranger versus Car Ranger, where it's like it's a Japanese singer, but they're singing English. I don't know why. Well, damn. Yeah, I did what I could to describe the episode, but long story short, they were faced with, a really tough decision. It's like they die into the world, or they live and the world dies and they die in the process. The reason why the episode really spoke to me was because they wanted to save themselves. Because so for GoGoFive, the theme or motif is like a like rescue and service, because like everyone's like a firefighter, EMT, a police, pilot. They're all involved in that line of work. So they're so used to trying to save anyone and everyone that they can. But then in this instance, they're the ones that need to be saved, and they're the ones who have to save themselves. And that's actually part of the reason why I'm wearing this, because I managed to watch and finish GoGoFive before, or in April of 2019, when I first did this project. And at first my favorite episode was going to be kind of like a two-part episode where it was our first big loss against the villains, because it was April and then I was getting hyped up for Endgame. So then that episode reminded me of at the end of Infinity War, when everyone pretty much lost. But then after watching Endgame and then kind of going back and trying to decide what my favorite episodes were, it was going to be this one. Not because the premise is dark, but it was when Matsuri, the Pink Ranger, was saying like, she doesn't want to die, and I'm glad that she's kind of like the moral compass amongst the GoGoFive, because all the members of GoGoFive are actually all siblings, so she kind of held the moral compass, and it wasn't until she just let out her feelings like everyone kind of said, yeah, they all feel the same way too, because the eldest brother was pretty not adamant, but he was he's the one who took the bomb without their dad knowing. He knew, like, just in case. Yeah, just something about that still having that desire to live and not wanting to die just kind of hit me. And part of the reason why, again, because of Avengers Endgame, Tony and Cap, or Tony and Steve, they managed to live a life. I don't know, just a bunch of things. Anyway, they didn't give up until the end. I guess, I don't know. I hope, like, something I said, like, made sense. It was a lot to process, because that was every episode, jeez. Oh. Man, that was a dark premise. Especially for a kid show. They would have never allowed that for Power Rangers. I think that's one of the things I can appreciate about Super Sentai. Is that, even though it's a quote-unquote kid show, did you have moments like this? I think it was mostly like, at the end, spoilers, I guess, in case anyone doesn't know or hasn't seen it. But yeah, at the end game, when Cap just decides to, or Steve Rogers just decides to go back and live his life. I don't know. I could see that parallel between this episode and his decision. It's like, don't forget to live for yourself kind of thing, almost. Or maybe should have stuck to the it's okay to want to be safe too kind of a thing. I think that's the more solid core lesson of this episode. It's that, they may be, rescuers themselves, but they're just as human, and, they deserve to be rescued too. I think is what I'm going after. Something along those lines. Hopefully I have enough to edit and put together where something makes sense. Because I still can't quite put it together. On to the movie. It's been a while since we had a movie that wasn't the Versus.